Hi, my name's Anika, and I work as a costumer in the film and television industry. And I also have my own art practice where I make art and films, independent films. I was always drawing when I was little and would just spend hours in my room drawing, usually ladies, and making my own paper dolls, and kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit. Would have, be selling the flowers back to the neighbors as potpourri, and just always was up to something to try to make some money. And then so I pursued painting in high school and drama, and so was compelled, kind of taken between those two disciplines when I was in high school, and then chose art at the end of my high school and studied at Emily Carr, which is like a design and art program in Vancouver. Uh, Threw myself into that and ended up studying film, performance, installation, and video. And it was like an integrated media program because I wanted to expand my skill set because I knew how to draw and I knew how to paint, and I just wanted to get more involved in the technical side of things because back that was in 2004, so that was kind of new and it was something I didn't know anything about. So I studied that and came out of school and wanted to practice as an artist, so made videos and installations and was showing in galleries and working in shops, like in stores as a saleswoman. And he, that kind of led to me studying acting. So I was using performance in my video work, and so I was kind of always curious about, and I had done it in high school, so I wanted to explore it more, and studied like a classical kind of diploma in acting, and was working in an acting school at that point, and so I got a discount on the tuition. So I studied and pursued acting for a few years. Found it like it's a very tough business, and I felt it just, yeah, it just like I got quite unhappy because I was just focused so much on it, and it was, I was really concerned with body image and all this stuff, and it was just kind of a stressful time personally as well. So at that point I was like, I need something with a little more security because I was working in stores for minimum wage and trying to make it as an artist. So I thought, I've always loved clothing, I'll retrain, and went back to school to study fashion design. And I interviewed some fashion people in Vancouver, and everyone said there's lots of work. It's the second biggest apparel manufacturer in North America. There's tons of work, and that kind of blew my mind that there was even work in something like that. So I thought, if I do this, I'll have a trade, and then I can always have a way to take care of myself. And I also just loved the program, and I was drawing these ladies, and everyone was blown away by my, my drawing. And then I came out of school and studied, or I thought, okay, I want to be a designer. So I started making bags, leather bags, laser cut bags, and had them in boutiques, and was kind of obsessed with that and trying to work in the industry. And I got a job as a production manager. So I was overseeing the production of these factories and making underwear for like a local underwear company. And then I actually started to see a life coach around that time because I was still kind of uneasy and not quite like feeling settled. And so I got in touch with more of my values, and like we went over, my vision and my big dreams, and I thought, what would be the coolest thing in the world? And I thought, well, if you could travel the world as an independent filmmaker and perform and meet people and make amazing work that impacted people all over the world, wouldn't that be the coolest thing? So at that point, I kind of completely changed tracks. I let go of all the fashion stuff. And because of my degrees in fashion and film, I was able to get into the costuming in film. So with all the skills I had, it was quite easy for me to work as a costumer in the film industry in Vancouver. And I thought, if I go there, I'll meet people, I'll learn, and yeah. And then during that time, I started to make my own films again and got back into making my own work. which kind of was like a throwback to making work as an artist, an independent artist. So it was kind of like, it felt like all the things I'd been studying somehow came together in this new dream. And that's what I've been doing for the last few years, is making my own films and then learning as much as I can in the commercial industry and bringing everything back to my own work. And it's so, I don't know, it's fulfilling, and it's aligned with the things that are important to me, like, telling stories and helping people to grow and expand to their highest potential.
So what I hear you saying, Anika, are a couple of really interesting things. One, that you've been able to adjust to change.
Mm-hmm.
So you have been doing a lot of adjusting, looking at the marketplace, looking at what draws you. But you said something there that really caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, which was the life coach.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to me that you were aware that something maybe internal, that was more from a soulful side,
mm-hmm.
not just economic,
yeah.
not just skills, but from a soulful side, that you wanted something that was satisfying at that level as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to ask you, what advice would you give to, let's say, an 18 to 21-year-old who was confused and they saw all these opportunities and they got stuck without doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a piece of advice that you could give to them?
I mean, I wish I'd done that coaching earlier, because, I mean, by the time I did it, I think that's when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I had so many skills and so much I loved to do, and what brought me into that was like, where do I put my energy? Where am I going to put my resources? And it helped me get a really clear vision, and I got really clear on my values, and then that's been sort of a guiding force. So I think if I'd done that, really early, I might be further along. But
as far as advice goes, I think
yeah.
that is really interesting advice, something that a lot of students wouldn't expect. But I think there's wisdom in that too.
Well, yeah, if you could get clear on what's really important to you and get clear on a vision, and then you just get going on it, right? And the other thing, like I've always struggled with those kinds of same questions, and something that's always helped me is I just get going on something that's exciting, like something that's, even if it's like the smallest thing, like it's like, I want to go and, I don't know, see, or, sometimes I just go and I wander through the library and I just kind of pull out books that I think are interesting, or go see a show, or, just like follow something in you that excites you. And even if it was like the fashion program, it was fun. The program itself was fun. And then years later, it was just such an asset for me to get into the film industry. Like, I just always, yeah.
It's a positive movement towards something. Maybe
mm-hmm.
in the process of moving towards something, you might see other possibilities. But mentally, it's keeping you charged, going ahead, not sitting back.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.